Before I proceed with some prepared remarks, I'd like to take a minute to acknowledge some of the people that have made this adventure possible. This is my last night here, and I'm leaving after 6 years, 3 terms, as I told everyone 7 years ago when I first ran. First of all, obviously, I want to thank my wife, Jo. Some of you know her. She's been my accomplice, gatekeeper, governor at sometimes, trying to throttle me down, but I could not have done this without her. I want to also acknowledge the lady that's run my office for the last 6 years, Missy Wooters, probably the longest serving district office manager in the history. She served 20 years with my predecessor, 6 years with me, and fortunately she'll be going on with my successor, Regan Deering, who's here tonight. I also want to thank John Foreman. You met him some time ago. When I first announced I was running, John came up and said, "What can I do to help you?" John and I served in the Illinois Army National Guard together, retired Master Sergeant, and has been with me through thick and thin, knocking on doors, getting petitions signed, putting out yard signs, going to breakfasts and lunches and meetings. John, I can't thank you enough. I also want to thank a group of representatives that form the nucleus of the conservative movement here in the General Assembly. Tom Morrison, Alan Skillicorn, Jeannie Ives, and Brad Halbrook were here before we arrived. Darren Bailey, Chris Miller, Blaine Wilhauer, and Andrew Chesney filled out our ranks in 2019. Our group became the nucleus of the Illinois Freedom Caucus. I want to thank you all for including me. I also want to thank the Illinois State Police Liaison, John Thompson. For the last 6 years, John has been there for me for all of the problems that people have had with FOID cards and concealed carry cards. He's never failed to produce. And John, I don't know that you're still here, but thank you very much. There was another gentleman here today, Mark Cavers. Mark was the person that helped choose me when I was running in my primary in 2018. I made you a promise that I would represent my district well and stay true to our conservative values. I hope I've served well and made you proud. And I know there are many other people that have been involved, and I can't mention all of them, but I'll thank you personally. Somewhere along the road, I did talk about Jo. It's the very first thing. You know, we came here 6 years ago. We all ran and got elected. We showed up for freshman orientation, full of vim and vigor and remembering our campaign promises that we made, our stump speeches, our advertising. And we met, and I think with a lot of hope and a lot of ambition that we came here to serve the people of our districts of this state. We came here to work together, and it was an interesting time. Then, you know, we went over to the Sangamon Auditorium and we got sworn in. We got our license plates, and we bolted our license plates on, and we came back and we got our office assignments and our committee assignments, and then the reality hit. The reality hit because of the way this body is run. We were essentially forbidden or not permitted to work together on the issues that are very, very important to our constituents. You know, we came here to ease the burden of government on the people and businesses in our district. We came here to fix the roads and bridges that are vital to our economy. We came here to do better for those populations that depend on government, like the developmentally disabled and the homeless people who need a helping hand. And likely, many of us promised our constituents that we would come here and lower property taxes. That was one of our main concerns. In January, we took the oath of office, we got here, and then working together became a serious problem. Working on issues that we all ran on dissolved into partisan politics. The same playbook used by the majority to suppress the minority for so many years became the order of the day. Any pretext of working together was snuffed out by the leaders who have run our state as their fiefdom. They divided us and suppressed any meaningful cooperation on the important issues facing all of our citizens. By any metric, one-party rule has not served us well. Our education system is a failure. We've poured billions of dollars more into school funding in the last 6 years, yet statewide, only 40% of students are proficient in English, and only 30% are proficient in math. And then, Illinois became the only state to end a school choice program for disadvantaged kids. Our healthcare infrastructure is crumbling, and instead of focusing on our citizens, billions have been diverted to illegal immigrants. Our budget in the last 6 years is up 32%, and the unfunded pension liability has also grown by about that amount. This legislature has raised taxes and fees without any spending restraints, and I'm predicting the bill will come due very, very soon. In closing, it saddens me to admit that I'm not leaving Illinois in a better place than it was 6 years ago. But it isn't for lack of trying. Unfortunately, the majority party in this building refuses to seek any help from people like me with valuable business experience. Our side has the only medical doctor in the legislature and professionals that represent a myriad of industries. And yet, because we are Republicans, we are ignored. And I want to use a little sports analogy here. You know, I know that you all are the general manager and the coach, but to leave some of your best players on the bench is not a winning strategy. Personally, I rarely felt that Governor Pritzker and his legislative leaders had the best interest of the people in mind when making policy. We've passed unconstitutional laws without giving it a second thought. We allowed lobbyists and special interest groups to control legislation. We failed to pass ethics reform, and Governor Pritzker was allowed to lock down our economy, lock out our children from school, lock down churches, and left parents and grandparents to die alone in nursing homes without so much as a single debate in this body. The damage and lost learning, $5 billion in unemployment fraud, lost trust in government, and people fleeing Illinois will not be repaired for a very, very long time. On the positive side, I still trust the people of Illinois to do the right thing. At some point, and I hope soon, the pendulum will swing back, either through the ballot box or through the natural result of outmigration from a state that has unsustainable policies. So tonight, as I depart, I have a question for all of you. Are you going to be part of the solution, or will you continue to drive this state over the cliff? And I hope that you choose the former. Thank you.